The letter arrived on a Monday, folded neatly in an unmarked envelope, the ink smudged slightly as if written in haste. Lena almost didn't notice it in the pile of mundane bills and advertisements cluttering her mailbox. But something about the weight of the paper, the slightly uneven strokes of the handwriting on the front, made her pause. She turned it over, her breath catching in her throat. The name on the envelope was hers, but the handwriting, it was Daniel's. And that was impossible. Daniel had vanished 5 years ago. No explanations, no goodbyes. Just gone, as if he had never existed. Her hands trembled as she ripped the envelope open, her heart pounding so hard she felt it in her ears. The note inside was brief, written in a scrawl she had once known so well. "Meet me where the stars touch the water. Trust no one." She read the words over and over again, as if expecting them to change under her gaze. The date at the top of the page sent a chill through her spine. It was dated the day he disappeared. Lena staggered backward, gripping the edge of the kitchen counter. Her mind raced through all the logical explanations. This was some cruel joke, an elaborate hoax. But the sinking feeling in her stomach told her otherwise. Only Daniel knew about their secret place. A quiet cove at the edge of secluded beach where they had spent countless nights staring up at the stars, making promises, dreaming of a future that never came. 5 years. She had spent 5 years trying to move on, trying to forget the pain of losing him. And now, just a week before her wedding to someone else, he had returned. Or at least, his words had. That night, sleep refused to come. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, Daniel's note crumpled in her hands. What did it mean? Why now? By morning, the decision was made. She had to go to the cove. The drive felt longer than she remembered, the coastal roads winding endlessly toward the past she had tried so hard to escape. The town was the same, small, quiet, tucked away from the rush of the world. But something felt off, like a whisper just out of reach. She parked her car at the edge of the old path that led to the cove, the salty breeze tugging at her hair. Her fingers traced the letter in her pocket as she made her way down the trail, each step heavy with anticipation and fear. When she reached the clearing, her breath hitched. The cove was empty, the waves lapping gently against the shore. Moonlight spilled over the water, turning it into a mirror of the sky. The stars touched the water, just like the letter said. And then, movement. A figure stepped from the shadows. Daniel. Her heart seized. He looked the same, almost. His hair was longer, his frame leaner, his eyes shadowed with something unspoken. But it was him. Lena took a step forward, her voice catching in her throat. Daniel? He didn't move. For a moment, they just stood there, staring at each other, the weight of 5 years pressing between them. Then he exhaled, a shaky, almost broken sound. You came. 1,000 questions fought for dominance in her mind. You're alive, she whispered. Where have you been? Why did you? I don't have much time, he interrupted, glancing over his shoulder as if expecting someone to appear from the darkness. Lena, you have to listen to me. I never left by choice. I was taken, and they're still watching. Cold fear coiled around her spine. Ooh, I can't tell you everything right now. It's not safe, but I need you to trust me. She shook her head, anger flaring through her confusion. You disappeared, Daniel. For 5 years. I grieve for you. I had to build a life without you. And now you're telling me you were, what? Kidnapped? On the run? His jaw clenched. I never stopped trying to get back to you. But if they know I've contacted you, you'll be in danger too. I shouldn't have sent the letter, but I had no choice. A shiver ran through her. Why now? Why just before my wedding? Pain flickered in his eyes. Because they finally made a mistake. I found a way out. But I can't leave without something I hid here, something they're still looking for. Lena's mind spun, trying to make sense of it all. Daniel, if this is real, if you're really in danger, then we need to go to the police. His expression hardened. No, they have people everywhere. I need to finish this on my own. I needed to see you one last time. To tell you I never stopped loving you. Her breath caught, a lump rising in her throat. He was right there, so close, and yet a world away. The life they could have had stretched between them like a bridge broken by time and secrets. Then, the sound of crunching footsteps echoed from the trail behind them. Daniel stiffened. "Lena, run. Now!" A shadowed figure emerged from the darkness. An instinct took over. Lena turned and ran. Daniel closed behind her. The cove vanished behind them as they sprinted up the path, the night air thick with fear. "Get in the car," he shouted, shoving her toward the driver's seat. She barely had time to react before the engine roared to life, and they sped down the winding coastal road. Her pulse pounded in her ears as she stole a glance at him. "What do they want? What did you hide?" He hesitated before pulling a small, weathered notebook from his jacket. "Proof," he said grimly. "Enough to bring them down." Before she could ask more, headlights appeared in the rearview mirror. The car behind them accelerated, gaining fast. Daniel cursed. "Hold on." The chase was a blur of twisting roads and flashing lights. The other car rammed into them, sending the tires screeching. Lena fought for control, her hands white-knuckled on the wheel. Then a sharp turn. A cliffside. No time. The world flipped as the car careened off the road. Impact. Darkness. Silence. When Lena woke, the world was still spinning. The car lay on its side, smoke rising from the hood. Pain lanced through her body as she turned her head. Daniel. He was slumped against the door, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. He groaned, his eyes fluttering open. "Lena, you have to go." She shook her head, blinking away tears. "No, I'm not leaving you." Footsteps. Voices growing closer. Daniel pressed the notebook into her hands. "Take this. Run. And no matter what happens, don't trust anyone." Tears streaked her face as she hesitated. "Daniel, go." With one last look, she climbed out of the wreckage and stumbled into the night, his voice echoing in her ears. She had lost him once. She couldn't lose him again. Whatever the truth was, she would find it. She would find him. And this time, she wouldn't let go.